What up fellas, like in the building. Guys, today we are watching a video of Burning Crusade DPS Showdown, Enhancement versus Elemental Shaman, so let's get it. I'm kinda curious about this fun, but to be honest, in vanilla, I would say that, yeah, unfortunately Elemental Shaman is not that viable because he's having a mana issues and he's going to be, yeah, he's not going to be having just enough mana to be doing decent DPS in the long fights. I think in the MC it's kind of okay because the fights are taking 15 seconds. So, yeah, yeah. Vanilla is so hard. You are spamming just shadow bolts, but actually in TBC, Elemental Shaman and Enhancement Shaman are becoming very viable, and they are one of the classes that are actually the most, and specs that are actually the most desired for the dungeons and for the raids as well. So let's have a look.
Hey guys, Hamster Will here with a new video, and welcome back to the Showdown arena, a place where we put different classes and different specs head to head to see which one is superior in terms of DPS.
Okay.
Last time we had a battle of fire, and today we're having a battle of shamans. That's right, in this DPS showdown we're going to put the element.
Bro, this set is amazing. Like, this set is the best. I don't know. I think it's from Black Temple, and actually I'm playing a shaman on a server, Wrath of the Lich King server called Warmane Iceground, and over there I want to be going Black Temple. And what they actually did is that they boosted Black Temple and a Sunwell Plateau difficulty because the transmogs are so that beautiful that everybody wants to be going, everybody wants to be having these pieces. So what you actually have to be doing, that even though you're in Wrath of the Lich King, you literally need to be having like 20 people just to clear Sunwell Plateau, because the dungeons are boosted, so they are like increase the difficulty, so you wouldn't be able to get these pieces so easily and just use a transmog.
Elemental Shaman head to head with the Enhancement Shaman. Lightning versus melee weapons, Wind Fury, and shocks. As before, we're going to check out the DPS they can do in 4 different gear levels. Level 1 is just some run-of-the-mill Burning Crusade blues. Level 2 is pre-raid best in slot, where both specs get some pretty sweet upgrades.
Bro, they look so ugly. God damn. Wasn't this like 2008?
Due to craftable gear. Level 3 is with some tier 4 gear added, and last but not least, our grand finale, which is level 4, tier 6 gear alongside some epics that drop out of Mount Hyjal and Black Temple to finish it off.
Yep.
So without further ado, let's get acquainted with today's competitors. Starting off with the Elemental Shaman, a spec that is excellent in Classic and PvP, but looked down upon in PvE. Luckily for the Elemental Shaman,
Just to say one thing, in vanilla, I was kind of also in PvP. I was a main Elemental Shaman, and let me tell you that Elemental Shaman is savage in battlegrounds. Like, you're gonna be slaughtering your enemies, you're going to be killing everyone. But the problem is that in the duels, he's like so okay. Like, he can beat a lot of classes, but he's not the creme de la creme. He's not the top. But in the battlegrounds, he's a machine. Period.
Shaman, the Burning Crusade gave this class a big overhaul, and it became probably the best support class in the entire game.
Yep.
With tons of totems and other spells that drastically increase the DPS of both melee and casters, the Elemental Shaman is a welcome sight in any group. It will rely mostly on Lightning Bolt in terms of damage, with the occasional Chain Lightning snuck in there. Then we have its melee counterpart, the Enhancement Shaman. Like the Elemental Shaman, a spec that was not competitive in vanilla PvE, but because of some drastic changes, it finally became viable in the Burning Crusade. The biggest change probably being the fact that they can now dual wield instead of being forced to wear just one big two-hander, making their damage much more consistent and reliable.
Yep.
The Enhancement Shaman will get its damage from Storm Strike, melee hits, Wind Fury procs, and shocks like Flame Shock and Earth Shock. So, which one of these will reign supreme in today's DPS showdown? Well, there's only one way to find out, so let's get started. And we're starting off with round 1, which is Burning Crusade blue gear. The Elemental Shaman pushed out a solid 1066.8 DPS. A good number considering the gear he's wearing. Can the Enhancement Shaman top that DPS though? Well, in this round, it did, 909.6 DPS, so the Elemental Shaman takes this round. Round 2 is with pre-raid best in slot gear, and both classes get some serious upgrades with this gear level. The Elemental Shaman in this gear did 1181.4 DPS, a good increase and a respectable number in this gear.
Pretty good,
So, can the Enhancement Shaman make it a 1-1, or will the Elemental Shaman continue its winning streak? Well, the Enhancement Shaman did 1049.7 DPS. Still a pretty strong number and a big improvement over the 909.6 DPS it did, but unfortunately it was not enough to best the Elemental Shaman, so the Elemental Shaman is sitting pretty comfortable right now with that 2-point lead.
This is actually pretty interesting because so you can see in TBC that Elemental Shaman is going to be stronger than Enhancement, and I think that also at the same time Elemental Shaman is going to be in more demand, and the reason for that is that a lot of fights in TBC are unfortunately not so melee friendly. What it means is that you just need a lot of range DPS to actually kill the boss, and the melee are not going to be so viable. So I think that Elemental Shaman is going to be in more demand than the Enhancement Shaman. At the same time, I want to also mention that in Wrath of the Lich King expansion, Enhancement Shaman is actually is considered to be better in DPS. If you are having a Beast Elemental Shaman and Beast Enhancement Shaman in Wrath of the Lich King, the Enhancement Shaman is going to be doing more DPS. But in TBC, Elemental Shaman is actually more viable. That's actually very interesting.
However, we still have 2 rounds left. Can the Enhancement Shaman turn this into a tie? Let's find out. So, moving on to round 3 with some tier 4 gear thrown in there. The Elemental Shaman did a very strong 1466.2 DPS. A number obtained partially due to that awesome Spellblade from Prince Malchezaar, and of course that awesome trinket called the Lightning Capacitor. The Enhancement Shaman is going to have a hard time beating this number, but let's see if it can turn the tide and gain a point here. And the Enhancement Shaman did 1136.2 DPS. So
God damn, rest in peace, Enhancement Shaman. God. Like, you're still gonna be invited to the raid as an Enhancement Shaman because you're a shaman. But we can see, I can tell you now that the Elemental Shaman is going to be more viable. It is what it is.
it falls behind quite a bit compared to the Elemental Shaman, which is unfortunate, but we still have 1 round left, so maybe the Enhancement Shaman can win the grand finale with that tasty tier 6 gear. Alright, so here we are, round 4, and the Elemental Shaman with this gear did 1629.5 DPS. A pretty solid number, and the Enhancement Shaman is going to have to show a massive increase in DPS, as in the previous round it was already pretty far behind the Elemental Shaman. So, with this gear, and in this simulation, it did 1359.4 DPS.
Not bad, actually.
So in this showdown, the Elemental Shaman has reigned supreme, with a total domination and a 4-2-0 score over the Enhancement Shaman. However, I will add a few things here, and that is that the Enhancement Shaman in a more ideal situation, with a little bit more gear from things like Sunwell Plateau, like some new weapons, should eventually catch up and even beat the Elemental Shaman if played well enough and if geared enough. While Elemental Shaman DPS is really strong in a good chunk of the Burning Crusade, it doesn't stack that well, so in a very late stage the Enhancement Shaman has a much bigger chance of leaving others in the dust, which is also what I saw on some boss fights in Sunwell Plateau that I looked up.
That's actually very interesting. Here you can see the raid composition. Check. 1 shaman, 2 shamans, 3, 4, 5. My guess, 1 Resto Shaman, because you need an Earth Shield for your tank, obviously. You're gonna be having a lot of casters, as you can see, mages, probably balance druid. Warlocks very strong in TBC. You're not gonna be having so many melee, like, as you can see right now, in Classic, so many warriors. That's not gonna be really the case, in my opinion, in TBC, because, as I mentioned, not so many bosses are gonna be melee friendly. So 1 Resto Shaman, probably 1, 2 Enhancement, probably 2, 3 Elemental Shamans, because the reason why you need so many shamans is that Bloodlust is actually party based. So if you want to be having a Bloodlust, raid wide Bloodlust, you need to be actually having 5 shamans for 25 people, and that is the reason why everybody is going to be recruiting shamans all the time. So if you're a shaman and you're an elemental shaman, you're going to be getting into the raid, and it is what it is. So shaman very 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 viable in TBC raiding, and that's what I like to see, because in classic you had, of course, you had the rest of shamans, but they were kind of like locked in their one spec, and I didn't like it that much. But at the same time, in classic, what I was doing on my shaman is that you can be having NS spec, so you are mostly having till like, I think like 30 points in your elemental tree and 20 points in your restoration tree. So you got essentials from the rest of tree, and you can be actually healing quite a lot, but at the same time you can be just switching into like DPS, and you can be doing DPS, but you don't have mana tight. So that is actually a big kind of like drawback, pushback, what the hell is called. So yeah,
I saw Enhancement Shamans doing more DPS than I was doing with just tier 6 gear and no added Sunwell Plateau gear. So keep that in mind if you're going Enhancement, not all is lost. Of course, as always, I have to remind you that this is not a 100% accurate simulation, and that there's tons of other factors that come into play during raiding. Like for instance having the totem twist as an Enhancement Shaman in an actual raid, certain tactics, and I don't know how many other things. For now though, it was fun to see these two go head to head with each other, and a special thank you to Simoti for suggesting the Showdown. Just a quick reminder that I have a poll up on my channel where you can vote on who the Shadow Destruction Warlock who got mentioned in episode 1 should go against. Cast your vote and let me know who you want.
Hamster Wheel, a really good channel. You should definitely go and subscribe to him. I like the video already. Just go here and leave a nice comment from here. Also, fellas, please, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and write me in the comment what video am I supposed to be checking in the next episode. So yeah, it is what it is. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.